call to order at 5:05. Roll call, starting with Alice.
Alice McDonald.
Andrea Berglund.
Patsy Adams Warnock.
Aletha Bongrake.
Josh Westbrook.
Okay, approval of the agenda.
Make a note that Tom Garcia is absent.
Oh, yes, sorry.
For illness.
Yeah, excuse absence.
Approval of the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda for September 12th as presented. Second.
Okay, public comments. From our public.
Nothing to say right now. I'm still waiting for the library to get built.
Okay, approval of minutes from August 12th.
I move that minutes be approved as written.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Just gonna be you and I, Patsy.
I know, I thought you were doing the all in favor thing because you're first and seconding. I don't know if what the proper protocol is, but you both first and second. Okay. Financial reports. We have the detailed budget status report.
Right, that's the big job. And I'm just gonna see if there's anything at all to report in this particular thing. You'll see the current budget again, where our status, when I go to next year's budget. Here we are in September, 75% of the year is gone. And if you go down here to the personal services, it's 72%. We'll only have about $5,000 or $6,000 for the new director right here. Because the person if that person works any of November, they'll be paid in December, and then all the December work gets paid January. So it won't be significant. And then our 63% on our benefits, we're going to have right here, this number right here represents the reimbursements for the medical, and we will be having more as the year ends. But
The 63% is what number?
that's the number of benefits spent, what we spent of benefits.
Premiums.
How does that relate to the four numbers above it? 73, 60, 64, and
Oh, I don't know. I shouldn't even have those numbers, but it doesn't matter. I mean, 60% there for the really large number, which is what drags it down. I don't know. Anyway, what I've got here, let me show you, Andrea. I've got total payroll benefits. And what I've done is we've got a budget amount here of 165,554. And then if you follow it across, you'll see that this particular formula adds them across like this. It adds them across. So the percentages here, this represents the percentage across of what was intended to be budgeted. This represents the percentage across of what was intended to be budgeted, and so on. These numbers together don't add up to this at all.
Oh,
In fact, it's kind of confusing. Those shouldn't even be there. I'm not going to take them out now because you're looking at them. But the reason that they don't really mean much is because the overall budget number is this, and these are numbers that we intended, out of the whole benefit structure. So, like the group insurance premiums, they're every month. So they're at 74.76%, which is just right on.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. The workers' comp.
Can you hide KLMNOP?
Josh, you did it for me before.
You just highlight them?
Well, if Josh, you showed me how to do something, and if you could do it for me again, I'd really appreciate it.
Let's do
You know, just,
Yeah, no.
you know what I mean? I think it's right there, there, to there. Okay, that's what I wanted, thank you.
And then
Okay.
move this one back over there.
Okay,
Does
perfect.
that help?
That's exactly right. Oh, except that we need the green
We need,
thing.
yeah, we went too
We
far.
need the budget number,
Which?
this way, on this one.
It's not really grab it. Oh, it jumps by the cells, so.
Well,
Because the cell is huge.
okay, almost, we've almost got it,
A little further.
a little bit further.
There.
That ought to do it, a little bit more, one more.
One more.
Okay, that'll do it. Okay, so you see that the workers' comp, SUTA, is a quarterly.
Oh, okay.
And we've got 1, 2, 3, well, there's a fourth one in there because it's all paid. So at 77%, that should be it.
Oh, you've already paid the,
Or maybe
Yeah, one more
not,
pay.
but there's those
but you're
extras.
still pretty close.
Right, and then this is the Social Security employers portion. This is very, very confusing because I don't enter this for you guys until I get the auditor's report because we don't calculate it, she does. But the formula is,
So another almost 3,000 will go in there.
that's
Yeah,
exactly
that's
right. And that,
60%.
yeah, I know what it is. It's about 3,500 because I always figure it.
Yeah,
If the
okay.
salaries are this, then it would be R, S. It'd be S equals S 72 times .0675. If I put that in right away, then your numbers wouldn't match,
I get it, yeah, but,
The actual-
right, because she hasn't.
wouldn't match
But
Jean's numbers.
It tells us
then-
more what's happening for the month without matching.
Right, so you see, that's not even at 75%.
I know, I'm still looking at something, something's tweaking, I just need to look, I can't
Well,
find
sure.
it yet.
What is it?
And then the PERS retirement is 73% spent. So these numbers represent the percentage of the estimated budget. And for the total payroll benefits that were actually budgeted legally, we're at 64.85%.
And then the Social Security will be, okay, on top.
Well, what I've done, when you see next year's budget, you'll see that I took all of these numbers and divided by 0.75 to get the projection to the end of the year, so that you can see how much we anticipate being spent by December, so that I know what my cash carryover is. Okay? So it's a process, and it's about as close as one can
This,
get.
I just need a second, I know you're right, I just gotta.
It's okay,
Sorry.
Andrea, take your time.
There's something glitching and I don't know why, I know I'll figure it out in a second, why I can't keep up with everybody.
I appreciate what you do, so don't do a second thought.
Okay, what I'm not getting is if you take that, what is the blue column?
The blue column is the total.
So what is the 107?
That's the total for all the payroll benefits.
So you're going across, but why wouldn't it come down?
Because I don't want to come down, because I'm trying to get a percentage for each category. That's all.
No, the 107 then, how did you coming across?
It comes across because each of those come down. This comes down, this comes down, this comes down, they all come down. And when all is said and done, then I add them across.
Okay.
In other words, this is the grand total.
The 107 is how much you've spent every month up till now
That's right, that's the grand.
on payroll benefits.
Exactly.
What happened to the 107, where'd it go?
Huh?
Well, there, Okay, I
It's
lost
right,
it.
it's right here.
Yeah.
And what I do is, this
I
one,
can't see where the
look at
You want to
this.
sit closer?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, look
I'm
at
slow,
this
though.
one.
Sorry,
This
I
is-
should do this at home, but.
This is September.
So 13,000 is
The
what you spent.
13,000 is S84 down to S91. That's for
But,
September.
okay, so theoretically though, your blues adding across, when you line them down, they too should match.
They should.
But they're not, they're $25,000 off. If you're adding across every time,
But I'm not sure I am adding across every time.
so well, to get your percentages, you need to. To get
Yes,
the
but
correct,
this is the only one I ever worry about. I mean, I worry about these, but I
But
also, okay, okay.
I see what Andrew's saying. Although if that blue column is the totals.
the two
whole
totals
year.
across. But if you're totaling across and writing percentages,
Yeah,
totaling down will be the same,
should,
but it's not.
but it's not. Do we have another glitch?
Something must be.
There's something,
must be
some
missing.
cell is not being added in, and I don't know what, but it would be
Well-
good to know, because then you'll see which percentages is not,
Yeah, we had a monster glitch before.
Yeah, because that's only 50.
Okay.
can I look at it real quick?
No, that's right.
No, that's right, because we've got
It's right.
25, 23,
It's right.
50, and then 6 and
Yeah.
1.
So,
Let me
50,
let me do it right here.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna
It's
do it down.
107 down.
Equals.
That's 107 down.
Yeah, it
It
is.
is.
Yeah.
It
It's
is.
just too small to
It's,
Equals
Yeah, no,
sign.
I mean, it's close to 107
A
down.
No, it
W
is.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, are you set?
Yeah, I'm satisfied now,
Okay.
because I saw it wrong.
Okay.
Glasses, maybe.
Glasses, my dear.
Hey, at least I'm adding, folks.
I appreciate it.
Double checking is good.
Hey, look, I don't wanna get to December and have my teeth in my mouth and be missing a lot of money.
No, that's right, but your percentages, I just want to make sure.
They're right
Yeah,
too.
yeah, no, they're good.
Okay, so moving right along. Office,
Counting, were you?
Huh?
You weren't even in counting. You just like this stuff.
I used to be a math tutor. I got myself through school, teaching calculus.
office supplies is overspent, will be, as you can see. And that's because people just buy willy-nilly. But we're not hurting for money, and I'm just gonna budget more next year because we get what we need. Professional services.
I just bought new paper today. I can't believe, I needed some really nice paper. I've been buying
expensive.
Costco. Man,
Well,
that's
we get a lot of office supplies and things.
We've been going
$15
through a lot too.
Yeah, we have. But, you know, nobody's spending oddly, and we do say no to some things, and, you know, it is what it is.
You need office supplies.
And we may
You
have,
understand these budgets originally were just best guesses anyway.
yeah. So we may have actually underestimated office supplies this
Do
Oh,
year.
I would think so.
Do
Yeah.
toner cartridges come out of office supplies or out of computer?
Office
That-
supplies.
Toner cartridges
Well,
just kill
and,
you.
yes, yeah.
And we
My
looked at
toner
something that
cartridges
we
cost
just-
more than my printer.
Yeah, yeah. We may have started with an underestimate and then we ramped up what we were doing.
Well, I'm sure, because I just, what I did was, when I made the budget, was my best guess from experience and history. But since we've ramped everything up this year, the
Just
history.
for us.
It's a different buying
Well, yeah.
atmosphere as well.
Yes, yes.
Well, yeah.
Because, I'll just leave it at that. It's a different
Well,
buying
yeah.
atmosphere.
Well, they
than it used
actually
to
get
be
to
with
buy
office
something.
supplies and little things.
We watch it. But
Yes, you watch it, but
We
how
watch it,
closely
but we
you
buy
watch it.
appropriately.
Yes,
that, we
yes,
buy
I agree.
appropriately, that's right. And.
I don't think it's a problem, but I just think it's a different atmosphere.
It is,
What
and I
I'm speaking
understand that
of.
last year's budget was half the size of this one.
Yes,
So everything that we projected way back in last November is best guess. And I think we did pretty darn good. I really do. Professional services, as you know, we're all over the map on that thing, and we've made 2 adjustments, and we're gonna make another one today. Because it's, I'm at 100%, $300 over, and since I keep staying instead of going.
It's kind of good.
You can't go yet.
No, but it's gonna all work out, you'll see. So the professional services, that's really kind of irrelevant at this point because our budget resolution takes care of all of this. And the bottom lines work out too. Okay, communications is overspent for 2 reasons.
Whoa.
Yeah, here's the reasons. Number 1, right here. We went to Columbia Energy LLC Fiber
Yeah.
at Burbank because we could.
It's part of the broadband initiative. And
Right.
Now and then, all that.
Right, and because we have changed providers time after time after time in the last 2-3 years, we can't get E-rate because we didn't tell them in advance who we were getting it from.
Ever or?
No,
Yeah,
we will.
We will, we're all set up for next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
very
And
little-
Josh he's on top of it, he's done all the work, it's not anything that I have to do or that Gene has to do because he's nailed it. And we're all set up to go. We've gotten all the good feedback.
Yeah.
So when we get to next year's budget, you'll see that I have changed the numbers down for our internet. But this year, it's gonna be through the roof. Because we've got these 470s and we have October, November, December. That's another $1,500 on that. So, anyway,
And the discount we can get on in that in the future is 80%.
that's right, we're only
So we'll only
paying
be paying
20% of the bill.
20% of that
That's right.
through E-rates.
So
Which means we can go top line, like the $214 job, $215 thing that we've been paying
They
month
charge
after
for
month
charter.
after month. Well, if you multiply that times 20%,
So it's peanuts.
Yeah,
it's peanuts
that's good.
Yeah.
a month. And the federal government pays the rest. Actually, you do because it's on your phone bill.
Yeah. Whenever you see universal service
Yeah.
charge on your phone bill, that's
That's what
what
you're
funds
paying for.
E-rate.
Oh,
For schools
the
and
libraries.
libraries.
Oh,
Yeah.
Schools and libraries.
So that's what that fund
now
is.
the new branch.
Yes.
County Central,
Mm-hmm.
that will have to be factored in by
Ah,
next year?
but
or-
look, Plaza. I call it Central Plaza because we're only paying $215 for Plaza.
All right, so,
And then what we're doing right now, the way that
I
E-rate,
mean, what I meant was, are you gonna be able to figure
Oh,
out so that
yeah.
E-rate can?
We won't
you
make
can
this
get
mistake again.
I'll-
We'll know what
no,
we're doing.
Josh can explain to you
Yeah.
what they said.
well, County Central, the way that E-rate works, you get into a period where you sign contracts. There's 3 big hurdles. Ask for service, sign contracts, and then you get reimbursed on your bills. So if you miss a hurdle, you're out. And that's kind of, that happens and it's terrible. But what we're doing right now is I've gotten 3 quotes. I'm getting 3 quotes. I've gotten 2 for County Central on 100 megabit fiber. Because the fiber exists there. We can get an 80% discount on it, which is crazy. And we'll have 20, 30, 35 computers in that building. So I've got 2 quotes back. I got another one back. Another one's coming. And then we'll make a decision.
There's actually 3 companies that will service it?
Yep.
Where we're getting quotes
Wow.
from, I don't think it's inappropriate to say who we're getting quotes
No,
from.
I don't think so.
Columbia REA, Pocket INET, and Charter. And they all can
Oh.
offer 100 megabit fiber at that
Oh,
location.
they all have it, okay.
And they're all, it's interesting enough, they're all in different infrastructures, so the pricing scales and things are different.
Quite different.
Yeah. So anyway, when we get those 3 back, we'll make a decision, sign a contract, and then the next round of E-rate starts in June, end of June next year.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll probably be when, something might be going live. So it works out really well. But we're being really careful with Central because we need a sledgehammer connection and it's going to be expensive, so we want to make sure we're in the loop on that one for sure.
You also put in for infrastructure, didn't you, on,
I did.
yeah, we don't know if we'll get it because they don't always give it.
Yeah, you can do internal connections and things, which will help install with networks and network equipment, but that's the last tier to be funded by the program. If there's money left over, then they look at those and start filling them. So you could get money for, say, running, utility stuff to the building or wiring, things like that. So we threw that one out there as well.
Hey,
To
Chris.
hopefully be able to get some of it.
What
'cause you never know.
happened to the agendas I put over there?
Or are they on the left?
They're there.
Oh, they're there. Oh, it's a church pew.
It's slanted back. So anyway, we're prepared and we're doing it. So it's
Okay,
good.
Okay.
sounds good.
And the reason we're going through this pretty carefully is because you'll understand it better when we get to the first draft on next year's budget, okay? But I'm just pointing out the areas that are, that we're watching. OCLC referral. A whole year went by when we hadn't paid our subscription for First Search because they forgot to bill
Well,
us.
WorldCat.
WorldCat. Oh, sorry.
The first search we were paying,
I'm sorry. WorldCat.
it's part of cataloging. We get a group discount through Washington State, group buying, state library.
Oh, they didn't bill you?
Well, they did bill us for part of it that was required, so we had to pay it. We just hadn't paid it before.
Yeah.
What WorldCat is, worldcat.org, you go to the website, you can see holdings of websites, libraries around the world. You can type in Harry Potter and in a zip code and see who has it in San Bernardino or wherever. So it puts
Puts a
us
world
into that
catalog.
system, so people can discover our holdings on other websites, through Google searches, things like that.
Mhm.
And then first search and whatnot is what
That's what,
Carlotta uses for
Carlotta uses.
ILL, and then Gene
Mhm.
uses to get records. So it's a whole group service. They just mistakenly didn't bill us for part of it that we
That's
should have
right.
been paying.
so we've been paying every month $552.22 for the First Search and all the work, because we get billed for, well, I don't know, I
It's all
guess
the
not
catalog.
anymore, huh? Anyway, the new price is $564.24, so you can see it's only $12 more per month. So we pay the annual, and it adds $12 to our monthly, and that's how it goes on into the future. Every year, we pay this, and then every month, we'll pay this. Okay? So that number, you see, is also 99% spent for that reason.
And we weren't always paying this, or we always have?
We were supposed to have, when I discovered we weren't in WorldCat, I got a hold of them and then they did this research and said, oh, you're supposed to be paying this to be part of your group discount on the other services. So we weren't paying it, but we weren't receiving the service. They weren't showing up on the website either, so. it was
And we
a-
need to?
We have to get the group discount on the other parts through Washington State group buying thing that we get. Yeah. So we missed it. We weren't getting the service, so they didn't retro charges.
Yeah,
We're just paying for the next.
So they didn't
Yeah,
charge you
annual.
retro?
no.
This is for the next
Since you
cycle.
did it. That's
Yeah.
Okay, I had under postage and freight, I originally had the Orbis Courier also, but we decided to put under association dues because it's really an association that we belong to in order to have the service. So, whereas we budgeted $2,800, we're at $1,200. And down under association dues, you'll see the Orbis Courier instead. So it'll get moved for the new budget. Travel costs, it's not so bad. We've got the district courier, look how it's dropped.
Wow.
It's $191 now, and it used to be up in the 400s and 500s because it was Josh. And now, the district travel hasn't changed at all because it's in-district travel for staff, doing all the things they do, traveling around the district. And that hasn't changed, but our costs for courier have plummeted. And then this one is training and travel, per diem, and lodging. And here I put the mileage costs for anybody going to conferences, the meal per diem that they're qualified to have, and any lodging charges. So I don't pile the high cost of travel to, say, Vancouver or Boise or Coeur d'Alene even, into the in-district travel, because then it would be completely skewed by the number of conferences people went to.
Now, the cost of the van
Mhm.
was figured out that was in capital.
Yes, it was in capital.
It was
Right.
shrunk out of that reimbursement program.
Exactly, it was shrunk out of the reimbursement program.
So I'm
So,
seeing about an average, you get gas twice a month in the van, and it's around
Yeah.
$200.
Really?
Yeah. It's
yeah.
about $100 every time you fill up.
And in
depending
the
on
new
the price of
budget, I
gas.
have put under equipment maintenance money for maintenance of the van separate from the gasoline.
Yeah.
So you have some
For tires and
loops and
oil.
oil change, tires.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll go get a quote on what the tires could be for the winter, and we'll see. And I mean, things like if I have to go fix a printer, I drive a courier van. Larry had to go. I had to go install a printer. He drove a courier van yesterday. So it's just cheaper for us. It's easier on staff vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Not which way you cut it. Standard mileage is pretty steep. So.
Yeah. Advertising. Oh, I'm sorry.
The insurance was you just did it.
Oh, yeah, the insurance was like $64
For a month?
No.
For the what?
For the rest of the year. And it's gonna be folded into our new,
Your other plan?
our new
Yeah.
insurance package.
Yeah. Okay. I know it wasn't much.
Not much,
Yeah.
not much.
And anybody can drive it?
You have to have a certain, you have to have a license. It's not a passenger van, so you don't have to have that other license.
No. But we should have Larry's, driver's license on file.
Yeah.
So, anyway, advertising is not an issue. I put 1,000 in for next year too, in case we have to do any. But this money here represents the, executive search that I did. Okay, then we've got, operating rents, leases, and utilities. And if you will recall, for this, I put everything, all 50,000 into one lump. And I'm gonna do it again next year, but it'll be a little bit refined for your viewing pleasure. But the reason we're doing that is not because I don't know numbers, but because it's like musical chairs. Everything's gonna change. So I'm trying to keep that big lump together. And you'll see when I project this out, toward the end of the year, we will have spent about $48,000. Okay? And we won't be paying, well, for a year or two, we have to pay the $1,570, but in the future, we won't. Nor will we be paying the $667 because that's the rent at Plaza.
But
What?
Crank it down a little bit.
Crank what down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not off, but maybe half or something.
So, when is our lease up?
I think it's up 2015.
But
When
yeah.
we opened in 2011,
now, but it could be, you could sublet it. Is that
we could
possible?
sublet it. Yeah, it could be sublet.
Or somebody, or they'll let you buy out.
But we have at least another year there, so. Which gets us to 2014. I don't know if it's a 4-year or.
That was 5.
It's a fine,
Okay, well then I'll have 2 years of responsibility.
but I think you probably would be able to
I would be.
sell out the lease to somebody else.
Yeah, that little plaza's pretty
It's pretty
filled.
full.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just keeping this at 50,000 because it doesn't make any sense to refine grounds and Tushy and grounds and Fresca. You know, the only one that's really stable is Burbank. And that's 72% spent. Insurance, that's our bill for the year, so
The 99% one is,
100%, 100.4%.
but that's already been paid.
Yeah, it's all paid for the year. This was paid in August. This is the August. In fact, I think I can get the month up there.
Make her remember.
Is
No, she's at the end of her rope.
literally.
Somewhere. There's the dates somewhere. Okay, grounds maintenance. We have one line with the auditor, but I broke it into 2 pieces when we budgeted. $6,500 for ground maintenance and $9,000 for building maintenance. The grounds are at 81.75%. That includes some major, like this bill right here in September is for getting all the weeds out of College Place by a landscaping outfit, because we were gonna get fined.
Yeah.
So some of these numbers just are one-off numbers. And some of them like this are numbers I can project into the future, because it's the Prescott Grounds contract. And then they say Burbank is totally stable, because we have a contract there. This extra number was for sprinkler repair or something.
Well, in Carlotta's report, she said something about a problem with the
Sprinkler and two sheet, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that may not show up until,
But that's probably just new.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's that, and then the building maintenance happens to be very low at 55%. So that whole line, the 48 line, is 66% spent at a 75% of the year. So we're doing fine there. Administrative costs, I've broken this down into many pieces. And the pieces are the board miscellaneous, which is not mileage. Basically, that's lunch. Costs incurred for the executive search. We will have more because of the airplane and lodging and all of that. And that's in our budget resolution today. Training and professional development, including background searches. This is the money that we spend to send people to conferences, but it's not the lodging or the mileage or the per diem food, it's the cost of the training. Okay? So that we don't, and remember that from when Andrea brought it up, one of our intentions for next year was to make sure that the staff had adequate money for all the training that we can provide. So we had gone from 8 down to 5, and it's going back up again in next year's budget.
The staff is really excited when they get to go someplace.
Absolutely, and it's very good stuff.
That's good for a staff.
Mhm.
Around.
The association dues, as you see here, we added the Orbis Courier, and there's the price for the Orbis Courier. So the other association dues were Leo, and
So that's why it's over.
that it's over, yeah,
Because of Orbis.
because we put the Orbis there instead of up in communication. Technology, this is going to be all spent, every dime of it, because we have that great big Sam's bill coming. Almost every dime.
Yeah, it's gonna be down with any problem.
Yeah, probably down to within $100. But Josh has his eyeball on
It's
it.
a large startup cost, it's not a continuing cost.
That's
What is
right.
it?
The public computer management software. There's a large, to develop our installation, all of that is a large chunk of money. But ongoing, it will not be, this is when they walk up to the computer and can put their barcode in
Yeah.
and get logged in. and all
What's
that.
SAM stand for?
It stands for
System access management.
something
System
Is
access
it system?
management?
It's access management.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that
Not system.
So you mean
could be.
people can do it themselves instead of,
People
and that,
do it
will that be at every
themselves,
library or just?
Yep.
and people can
Everyone.
reserve.
Yeah, Richland has that. I
We
just
can do
wondered.
some print management
Yeah.
and things like that.
We're very proud of that.
Yeah, and we can get 100% accurate statistics on computer usage, so, because it will count it. So
Oh,
that's one less
As
thing
opposed
for
to your
staff
little
to do.
disclaimer, I saw.
Yeah, yeah, and that disclaimer didn't come off right. I didn't mean it to sound negative. I mean it to mean that, people do the best they can, but it's, they're busy and things at the desk, so. But, yeah, it'll be 100% accurate in the future. We can really look at those numbers and see what the reality is.
The management team has been working 2, 3, 4 times, talking about profiling and, how we want to manage time on computers and all that sort of thing. So an awful lot of planning has gone into this.
And it'll keep morphing as we see it actually working and how it actually does work with our set of rules. It'll probably tweak a bit as we go.
Are there time limits now on the computers?
There are right now people are automatically logged off and we can't stop it.
Oh.
With this new system, people could go, oh my gosh, I'm writing something, can I get 10 more minutes? And you can do that. People
Oh,
at the
that'd
desk
be
can go,
nice.
okay, here's 15 more minutes.
Override.
Yeah.
What
So you-
happens now? They lose it? Or
Right now it goes away, yeah.
So you have to tell them save it.
Thumb drive or save it online or email it to yourself.
That's a problem then.
Yeah, it is. So this will help out a lot of things. As long as people wave that white flag and know that you can do it for them, we can save them from losing work and things. So, anyway.
What's the usual amount of time
It varies across the district right now. Right now, Plaza and Burbank are an hour, and they can get a 2-hour session if they want. There's an extended session. Vista requested half an hour. Touche and Prescott are 45 minutes. So we're going to try and get everybody on an hour. See what happens.
Pretty much has to do with the number of
But part of
computers.
it, part
But
of
it could be
the
different
And
everywhere.
if there's
We can-
people waiting, you don't want
Yeah.
to.
part of the reason Prescott's is only 25 was because they only had the 3 computers, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we had 45 minutes there, and it's something we're going to have to see how it works, because we can profile it differently everywhere.
Mhm.
You can do whatever you want.
That's what makes it difficult to count how much time they're in use right now, because there's different time limits everywhere, and we don't know
That's
what's an
right.
extended session or
You
not,
have
so.
people, but not minutes.
And people
Yeah.
will be able to reserve a time, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, that's
See, so that they don't have to go in and cool their heels for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
Get off
good, too.
work.
Wait for all the kids gaming so they can
Yeah.
get their resume ready.
So those are the things I put under administrative costs. And then the technology is under administrative costs because it happens to be coded in the same bars, which is fine. This is not the new stuff we buy for our branches. That's going to come out of the construction of fixtures, furnishings, and equipment budget. This is for the ongoing things that Josh does. If a computer blows up and he has to get another one, he buys it out of this hardware. If he needs a new projector, he buys it out of this hardware. If he has to buy pieces to fix something, he buys it out of maintenance. If he has to buy software and stuff, he buys it out of here. But not furnishing new spaces.
Yeah, so that's accounted for construction budget. And this would be where software subscriptions would come to. The SAM becomes
It's
a
called
software
furnishings then,
subscription.
right?
It does.
It's called furnishings? Is that what it comes out of?
It's called FFE. Furnishings, fixtures, and equipment. Or the other way around.
Furnishings, fixing, fixtures, and equipment.
And that's budgeted in our construction budget. So we're doing fine on that, but Josh is gonna kill it, so don't be too gleeful there. Okay, book processing materials, we overspent, always overspent. A lot of it has to do with our media, the fact that we're buying twice as much as we bought the year before. Everything has to be processed. A lot of our media requires Kindle covers and little bags and blah, blah, blah. So we'll just budget that better next year. The print and electronic library materials, this is one price, and that price is $125,000, right there. For you guys, I break it down into pieces, but I don't budget the pieces. I just break it down. We spent this much on books to date. We paid some other library. Here's a refund that we gave to some local person. E-books for local devices. We own the Kindles. We download things for the book clubs. Okay? Online databases. Big deal. This is content. Now, when Josh has to do the SAMs, that's administrative management. When we buy something like a language database or ancestry database or any kind of a content, it goes under print and electronic library materials because it's for the public. And then we get magazines and professional books for staff, and here's our media, CDs and DVDs together. Here's the overdrive. This is what we pay overdrive. That's from the state. E-readers and devices to lend content. These are just what it says. And then music. And this is basically our Zinio.
I have a question about overdrive. When you're looking at, they show all these books, but then the little I was looking for audiobooks, but the little headphones are black, so you can't check them out. Who's got them?
Well, when they're grayed out, it means it's checked out.
But they're not necessarily checked out to Walla Rural Library District.
No, because we're in a giant consortium with like 30 other libraries, so the bulk of it we share.
Okay.
It's a free-for-all with everybody in that consortium. And then now we're in this advantage option, which Anna can actually pick titles and insert them in there. We may have 50 copies of Gone Girl, 50 holds on Gone Girl, and we can insert another copy just for our people and jump the line,
Oh.
that kind of stuff. So if it is grayed out, it could be our patron, it could be someone across the state. And
So how many downloads of the music? Do we
The
track
free
that?
one,
How
you
many?
yeah,
we've got-
I have it in the little thing.
I haven't fun with that.
So I download audio.
Yeah. June was 185, July was 200, August was 196. So, and that one's kind of hard because it's throttled. I mean, you get 3 a week, so.
Yeah, it really is a shame.
Yeah, so, yeah, it is. 'Cause you can't download 3 albums, you get 3 songs.
Yeah.
No,
so-
but I've gotten it figured out now that I can save the 3 songs and I can keep track. For a while I couldn't, I had to keep going back and figure out, now I've got
Yeah.
that song and that song and that song off that album, but I haven't got this one. But now it seems like
They did an update.
they did something better, and maybe it's iTunes has changed it, but anyway, it was much easier this time.
Yeah, they changed, the Frigo website updated, so now you have lists. So they're trying to mediate, getting angry about not being able to find stuff. So you can put songs in lists and then come back and go, okay, there's my next 3. And then come back,
Yeah,
here's my
you
next
don't want to
3.
lose it each time, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
This is our programs. They're also under 64, which is library services for total services. We've separated out, of course, our content material and our programming, and then we have one price of $10,000 for all the programming, but for our benefit, for tracking, we break it out into these pieces. If we do a PR event, the cost of our movie licenses is over here, $770. Presenters, this is the people that we get during summer reading to do all the programming. It's very high, which has put us up to the 97%, but summer reading is over. And also, the summer reading people got together and they have different ideas for next year. So we probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, probably won't have so many purchased presenters.
We probably won't have as, well, maybe across the district it'll be about the same, they'll just be spread out differently.
Okay,
So,
okay. So that's what I need to know for budgeting, so that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's a good thing.
Well, I think we'll still go out and look for grant money, underwrite some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That was good. So the giveaway books, that's our first books, and we just give them out all over the place. Program materials is all the little stuff they buy to make the programs terrific. The presenters are what we pay individuals to come and do programs.
Like the reptile man.
Exactly. So, as I say, that's 97% spent, but except for maybe Halloween and Christmas and some, buying some fun things, there probably won't be any really huge expenses for the rest of the year. Equipment purchase, I put all the equipment, which is 69. It all has one number of $25,000, and then we dropped it to 20, and then we upped it to 22. So far, we spent $12,734. You can see here what we spent. Purchase is here. There's, chairs and tables and things, book carts, things. Here's an auditor misposting, which, is back in here somewhere. Equipment maintenance contracts. This is for our copy machine. And equipment repair. This is not Josh's equipment, but this is things like furnaces and plumbing and lights and that sort of thing. And then Burbank equipment I separated out for the sole reason that this $195.94 is the price that we're paying to rent on this trailer.
Oh,
And so I put that there so that we wouldn't mistake what we actually need in the future. Once Burbank's complete, this number will go away. Okay, and it's only 58% spent. So, our grand total for, if we move over here just a tad, this is called total materials and services of $317,849. And then I have to enter this by hand because I add these two together to get a grand total, and it gives a circular reference if I keep referencing the same thing. So this always has to be entered by hand. And we blew it out when it matches Jean. Okay, so our total operating expenses for this month, this is operating in the general fund, $85,047. So for the whole year, on our general fund operations, we're 72% spent. Then if you go down here into the impress, there was something. Well, this number here represents how much we have transferred from the treasurer's government pool to the bank. It does not represent how much has been spent. That's how much we've transferred. We've got
26,000.
That's right, which means that we still have 12,000 left at the bank that we haven't spent yet.
When I see that number and I think about what we've paid in years past,
Yeah, I know.
it's a wonderful idea.
So,
Unless you get
the
it as
courier
well.
van purchase is not showing up here, but here's the grand total because it was bought back in here. The architectural services, so far for the it's 98,000 now. Let's see, there we go, 98,000. We dropped it from 127 in the last November budget down to 98. And of that, 60,000 is spent on the PC and SD, that's pre-contract and schematic design. And then outside of the PC contract, I have also spent this much money to come out of that 98,000, and we still haven't spent it all. So that money is kind of left over to go into capital expenditures, because we had spent a good deal the year before, and I just budgeted pretty high to make sure we had John covered, because he was doing an awful lot of extra work, as you well know, running around. Capital expenditures, this is the DD budget, which is design development, and all of his invoices are now coming in under design development, which has to do with taking the schematics and turning them into blueprints. And all of his consultants that help him. So this is the budget we've got so far. His is almost 2,000, and then for Burbank, under his contract. No, not under his. These are just these are under his contract. And here I've got outside the contract, and there's nothing there yet. This is outside the contract, and that's where I put all the expenditures to date. Outside the contract, which came out of what I actually budgeted for him.
I'm not understanding.
Well, I'll try to explain it again. I budgeted more than he needed in capital for John. And all of the crazy things that happened to us before we got to the actual construction, that we had to contract for separately, like asbestos abatement and archaeology and surveys and stormwater reports and those kinds of things. The college place fees. These things were outside of John's contract. They were things we were responsible for. And they would have come out of the capital money, and they would have come out of contingency, and some of them will. But since I had all that money budgeted for John up there, instead of making you guys go through resolutions, I just went ahead and paid for those up there because it's all the same money.
So at what point, why did he switch to DD when we haven't broke ground?
Because he's got some really huge drawings. Chris has seen them.
But that I thought on our contract, didn't it go to drawings before we hit DD?
The DD is design development, which is what he does throughout the entire building process, and it begins when a design is accepted. The DD begins when he has to create the bid documents. The very expensive work that he does. That's what the DD is.
I'm just surprised we've spent 17,000 in DD yet.
He hasn't. That's the total of capital expenditures. He's only spent $19.99 in DD. Well, actually, 87 if we have to go back.
What? It's hard to follow. I'm trying to remember the conversation we had with John back when he was telling us about PC and DD, and it was kind of brief. And he said he would fill us in more, and it would all be in the contract and all that.
Yeah.
But all we heard was very, very brief, and I don't think we've ever actually gone into detail about that.
No, and I have
But
some.
we did have a warning from Carol's husband about how easy it is to do too much up front before you have ever broken ground.
Right, but the good news is that we had more money up front to do those things, and we've got it covered. And I have more details actually on how the budget is going. We're doing very well. We're doing very well.
Well,
What you're seeing here,
John's doing very well. I mean, 17,000 in DD and we haven't broken ground, that's a lot of money. What's 9,000 to Burbank? 8,946.
That is this month, so it's gonna be in there somewhere.
Because so far, he doesn't have does he have final blueprints on Burbank?
What I can tell you is that he's working on blueprints with engineers. Let's
So it
go-
seems like that should be in PC.
No, not when you,
PC stands for
pre-contract.
Pre-contract.
Yeah. Pre-construction.
Pre-construction. No, we have a contract with him. It's
Let me,
before you
let
break
me,
ground.
let me simply,
I don't want to think that we have extra money because now we've switched to DD. When in fact it should be in PC and we're going above budget.
that's not true because he's the architect, and what he does is, I'm gonna show you, he identifies whether it's PC or DD. Let's take his invoice.
Does he have a definition then on the contract, or where would it be that we would know that?
Oh, there it is. So here he's got DD and DD, architectural services. And here's PC, consulting billing. Anything that comes on his invoice comes out of his contract. Anything that comes on the consultant's contracts, Anderson Perry, the abatement people, Blue Mountain Environmental.
Do you have a copy of his contract? Wasn't it defined in there what PC and DD will be?
Yeah.
It seems like he's taking stuff.
I think,
It's not making sense to me.
I'm,
Well, our prior conversation with John is not making sense to me now, is what I'm saying.
well, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Show you something here. Just take, let's not go there yet. Let's just take this one. See here, the architectural services for DD, for Central, for Prescott, for Tushy, for Burbank. In other words, in our construction capital contract, there's $380,739 for John.
Right, because he takes a percentage of construction costs, right? Is it 6% or?
No, he doesn't, well, what he does is
Well, it's supposed to be 6%, but I think he went up almost to 10%.
What's the contingency there?
yeah, it's about 10%.
Contingency's 10%, what's that?
Yeah, the contingency is 10%.
Which is very generous, I think going rate is 6 to 7%
Yeah,
in the
I know,
industry.
we're doing very well. We have 15% for the FFE. That much money for, what I'm saying is that,
Well, just because we have it doesn't mean I wanna spend it. I'm just trying to see if his PC stuff, what's getting put onto that DD, just because there's extra money in it.
it's the other way around, it's the other way around. I'm putting the invoices from contractors that are not answerable to John, I'm paying for them out of his PC money because he hasn't spent it. That's
Well,
what
he
I'm-
would have if we were posting these other things to it.
No. He's not using up all of the PC we budgeted. Therefore, the balance of what we budgeted for his PC has become contingency or money available to cover all of the other weird stuff. We haven't even gotten into really, except for our property and a few DDs that have just started showing up. We haven't gotten into that money.
Okay, so how I understood it from John prior to this,
Mm-hmm,
and from the other architects that came to talk to us,
mm-hmm,
was that DD kicks in
mm-hmm.
when you actually have construction workers out there. And that DD, usually it's like 6 to 7%, is so that the architect follows all the way through with all the general contractors. And that's when your DD money comes in. And since we don't have any contractors and construction workers out there,
Well, here's the
I don't
thing.
understand why we're paying DD yet.
Here's the thing. He's an architect. He's been an architect for a long, long time. And he gives us an invoice. And according to his invoice...
So maybe we should have John come, talk to us.
That's fine, Andrea, but look. He actually identifies it according to probably
He has
6 or
studied.
7 or 8 years of training. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He identifies for me on his invoice what is PC and what is SD, and what is PC and what is SD. And these are the things that I go on when I assign them the money. So, you can question how he invoices us if you want to. But as far as the money's concerned, we're ahead of the game. So, and I can print you out a copy of his contract if you want it.
That might be better because it's just not consistent with what he had talked to us about in the beginning. So I'm confused.
I'm concerned, I have to be in another meeting at 7 o'clock.
I know it.
And you haven't even gotten off
I
number
know,
one.
I know. Well, I will get you the contract, Andrea, and then you can talk to
You don't have
John.
a quorum.
And I could talk to you too. Yeah, we have a forum.
No, not if I
that's
leave,
right.
you won't.
No, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
You have to be through by 7.
Yeah, we're spending a long time on the budget.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, going down here, so there's your bottom line. But it's the operating, it's the general fund. That's the number you're interested in, right there.
Now, I think as board members, we have to be really aware of how important it is that the new person we hire understands budgets. This is very complicated.
Mm-hmm. And you realize that I'm gonna be handling the construction budget for
I
you.
know you are, but nevertheless, this person's gonna have, they can't have just had library experience. They've got to have the whole thing.
Okay, so there's your budget. Most of the stuff isn't gonna take all that time. But there's this, and then there's the draft for next year, and the budget resolution. Those are the major things. So, okay. So Andrea, I will get that to you.
Yeah, just so we get to understand, because this is gonna go on further and further and further. So if we can just, I'll just talk to you. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just talk to him and then I'll know where
Well,
it's
yeah, and I'll talk to you too, and I'll show you about the money because
Okay, I'm not worried about it.
I actually have another spreadsheet
Okay,
here.
so auditors expenditure status report, can we move on to that?
This is,
That's that thing.
this
And
never right.
the only reason I give it to you now is because I can't email it because I never get it in time. But but her report corresponds to our report because I've checked it. And that's for your files if you want it.
And then the review and signing, Alice, did you do the voucher?
That's what we have to sign. Just look at voucher numbers. Can we do it all one?
Yeah, you can do it all in one.
Okay, I move that we accept the September 2013 vouchers numbered 595 to 667 in the amount of $85,261.89. We accept the capital expenditure vouchers numbering 668 to 670 in the amount of $17,120.68. The personal expenditure vouchers numbering 671 in the amount of $71.91, for a grand total for September 2013 of $102,454.48.
I move we,
Second.
pay vouchers.
You can second.
You just seconded. She moved
Oh,
it.
she did.
Yeah, I moved it.
I second.
All in favor? Say aye.
And then you each sign each of those 3 sheets,
Okay.
just the ones that are marked.
Okay, so we read the staff reports,
Uh-huh.
the reimbursement program report.
Could I ask,
Is that quick? Oh, go
could I
ahead.
ask one question about the Burbank, the change in the Burbank? It said something about you're going to move the library instead of do the...
Oh, we sat down, Chris was there and I was there and John was there and Mark Johnson, who's been doing our costing. We were there and we talked about phasing it. And we were working on phasing it so the library wouldn't have to close. But we got to the point where I finally asked Mark, I said, how much will the phasing cost us extra if we do that? First of all, it'd take about 10 months. Is that right, 10 months?
Conservatively, yes.
Yeah, and it would cost an extra $100,000. So Chris has gone to the school, she's been working with them, and it looks like we're gonna be 5 months out of the library and provide service from the school.
So you're going to literally move Burbank?
Well-
You can't move the whole library, and we wouldn't have access to the whole library if we were facing it anyway. We just have a fraction of the library, and we'd be moving 4 times within that fraction of the library to county. So you just kind of factor in all those. We're gonna share some space locally, and we'll bring some of the library. And with Holmes and Courier, and it'll be pretty good.
It'll work, and it'll be 5 months max, I think.
Yeah, it'll dramatically
Yeah.
shorten the time difference.
So that's what that's all about.
Okay. And it's a good partnership with the
Well,
school.
it is,
Yeah.
they're very generous, yes.
So the reimbursement report, this was our lowest month ever,
As you expect.
and we only have 5 in September so far. So,
That's interesting in light of the cruise space stuff.
yeah, well, I think August is slow anyway. I think a lot of people are doing vacations, they're doing the fair, they're doing harvest. So it may be, we might have a bunch in October.
Well, and then, I don't know, you know, the kids are all playing
Yeah.
soccer for September. I
School
don't know
starting,
who's going to be
yeah.
going to those classes.
Yeah.
So can we do facilities development, staff news, heritage grant after Patsy leaves? Or,
Can't do anything.
No.
no,
You haven't got.
no, these are not these are just news. I thought we could start,
Right,
work
what
backwards.
time are you actually leaving?
7.
At-
No, I've got to leave,
10 up?
no, 5 up.
5 up,
So I
okay.
walk
So she
there.
can
Plenty
get
of
there.
time.
I think we're
About 40
fine.
minutes.
I
Okay,
think we're just fine.
okay. Facilities development program update.
Yeah, that's, you've got it in your packet. And this, we don't have to, I mean, just look it over. This is pretty much the work I've been working on with, where is it now?
What are we looking at?
Snapshot.
Okay.
You're looking at this
Funding?
thing. You're looking at this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, You're looking at this thing.
Construction funding only?
Yeah, and you can take this home and enjoy it. This is what I prepared for Washington Trust, Larry Vandenberg, because he loves us and he's ready to hand over the money. But USDA, first of all, they wanted a balance sheet. Did this happen after our last meeting?
No, you told
No,
us
you
that
told
you're
us.
gonna
Okay.
quicken.
And then quick.
Okay, so we got the balance sheet done, and then Larry sent me this email that says, he says, I know you want to keep 400,000 in reserve. Since your cash reserves are down to 3173, this was from the balance sheet. Do you have enough cash left to do the construction and have $400,000 left? I know you've already spent $250,000 on the College Place property. What other costs have you already incurred? And this is my answer. And my answer basically takes the construction money, the actual reconciliation of the cash reserves versus the construction reserves. This is the cash reserves. This is the money we're saving out. This is dedicated to Walnut. We can't spend that. So we actually have 2,725 available on the 30th of June, which is what the USDA wants to know. The cost of the loan at $100,000 is already budgeted at $155,000 in current budget, and it'll be there from taxes receivable because it's not showing on the. We have 3,173,647 in the bank right now, and we have $514,000 in receivables, which will more than cover our responsibility. So I'm just showing him how it breaks down. And then you go over here, and this is what we've spent. We've spent this much on all the projects, 144,000. We spent 250 on Burbank, 85 Prescott, 72 Sheep. So the grand total we've already spent is 549. So if you take that money out, he says that we need to have 3,474. It's very complicated, but this is just an answer to him. And I thought you all would like to see it and take it home and chew it over. But it's right.
How much did he want us to have?
He says we have to have 3,474,000. That's how much we're putting into the project, and I'm showing him that that's how much we're putting into the project. Because we've already put in over $500,000. We have 2,700,000 in the bank, and so on and so forth. So it's.
Now, has he responded to this?
Oh yeah, he loves it. It's just fine. Everything's just lovely. And then I sent him, this just shows you how well we're positioned. And then I sent him this, the matrix for the refined project costs. And you've already seen this. I just showed it to you in a different file. And it just shows it how we've spent the properties purchased. And we've also spent $144,000 in addition. So you subtract that out, 2,261. That's the loan amount I'm shooting for, 2.3 million. They're gonna authorize us for 2.6 million, but I don't want to spend it. I want to spend 2.3. So that we have to pay back 155 or so instead of 176. That's what I'm shooting for. That's why I'm watching the money by the clock.
And what's Larry's last name?
Vandenberg.
And he's-
So I gave you this in your packet so that you can just look it over. But that's what you're seeing.
He's banker at
Washington
Washington
Trust.
Trust.
Mhm.
And there's no way to light a fire under him, huh?
It's not him.
He's
Is
not
he-
the USDA guy.
No,
Oh,
he's
oh,
Washington
oh,
Trust.
oh.
He writes me these nice emails and, about how the feds aren't, like private industry. And no, he's a wonderful asset. He and Norm from Old West are managing.
And Norm sent you to him, is that how? Norm is not involved?
Yes, he is involved. They're splitting it down the middle.
Okay. Norm is at Old West.
Winters. So I wanted you to have this because this is what's going on behind the scenes.
looking behind the scenes.
Well, this is behind the scenes, yeah. And I change these numbers all the time according to what costs we incur. And then I gave you another one, which has to do with this one. And these are the costs, which is not up to date. But it shows you how, another way that I'm trying to track it. And there's the 93 that I budgeted for the architectural services. This is from the capital contingency. This is from the capital construction. And you can see there the difference. This comes out of capital construction, and basically that's the property. This comes from the capital contingency, and basically it's $32,000 out of $386,000. And this is the architectural services capital fund, which was for his PC, out of which I've taken these additional things that were not his responsibility, in order to use up the money that was budgeted to reserve this money unspent. That's what that's showing you, which is what I was trying to explain in the regular budget. So don't try to make these numbers match the ones on the other thing, because one is more up to date than the other. This one is less up to date, slightly, by about a month and a half maybe. So that's that.
Staff news?
Huh?
Are we on to staff news?
Yeah, if you don't have any other questions about that, and I'll talk to you, I'll even come out and visit with you anytime you want, Andrea, about it, because I know the numbers are your specialty, and I know that they're really complex, how I sort it out. And I'll also send you his contract. Staff news, all I want to say is that Gabby has been doing farm labor homes during the summer. She's been going 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's been so successful that I'm budgeting for that next year, although Gabby may or may not be able to do it. The staff at Plaza are finding ways to continue it at least maybe 3 days a week, you know, and so I'm budgeting for that in next year's personal services. She's been wonderful, and it's just been a real success. And then Jose and his wife had a baby, little girl.
So
named-
nice.
Yeah, named Elsie.
Cute.
Brand new, yeah. And as you know from the reports, which I will read into the record, is that 4 staff members went to PNLA down in Boise and wrote reports to you in the staff reports, and it was very, very successful.
I liked Claudia's comment about wanting to get building blocks and Legos for the kids, and it's like, kind of just, that's an area that I'm particularly interested in, letting those little kids
Tactile.
tactile,
Yeah, well, we'll have-
spatial,
yeah.
It's
everything.
doable, it's very doable.
Absolutely.
I was immediately thinking what I still had left in my house, but I think I got rid of the big Legos, and the little ones you gotta be careful
Yeah,
with, so
kids.
I don't think I have
I
any.
think I have some.
Yeah, the
But
little
we'll have
ones.
lots of space to do these things.
Yeah,
in the
they need
building.
those things.
It'll be great. So, so that's all the staff news I can think of particularly.
Heritage grant?
The Heritage Grant, I'll go quick. I had a meeting this morning. The Washington Rural Heritage is a grant, it's totally grant funded, LSTA funds. Had a meeting this morning with Ross Fuqua, I think that's pronouncing his last name correctly. We've got a grant to digitize some of these things that we've been given from Prescott residents. It's the Prescott Preschool Association from 1949 to 1964. And just an example, and I'll pass these around if anybody cares. Handwritten minutes that start from 1949, the Preschool Association. There's like 4 binders of those, and then we have scrapbooks, which are full of, this one's 1960 to 1961, and they've got photos of all the activities and also all the documentation of what they did at conferences they went to and these clippings. What the Rural Heritage Grant does is we get some money to buy some scanning equipment, and some hard drives and things, heavy-duty scanning equipment, And we can scan all of this and put it onto the World Heritage website, which I've sent you links in your reports, so that they're accessible by everyone. You can put some pretty heavy-duty metadata in them. You can tag them, and they're discoverable all over the place. Larry, my coworker, will be doing the actual scanning with money from the grant. There's 100 hours, 100 staff hours with budgeted in there. So he will be able to do the bulk of it, and then we'll just manage it more peripherally. And I haven't talked to Laura yet in Prescott, but what we're going to do is try and get a couple of community events. We're going to sit down with these things and get names and who's in this photo, and get, because there's people in here, the names I recognize. I mean, Laverne's in here, Sharon Smith's in here, all these people. So that's basically what the project is. It's going to go through next spring. It's like a year-long process. It may not start in earnest until November or January. We get the money to start.
Do you have some historic photos too?
Mainly in the scrapbooks, there's photos of events.
You don't have any old photos of
Well, what was that one you sent us with the
That one was
picture
from
of the kids?
Dayton, yeah. That was an example of what some places have done, yeah. And
the
they-
Dayton ones.
Yeah. So this one is just taking these like 4 scrapbooks and 4 sets of handwritten minutes and digitizing them as an encapsulated project. We can go on and do others for other areas. We can, see what people have on the Walla Gap, all that kind of stuff. And we can do that with or without grant funds. I clarified that this morning. If we find volunteers who want to scan stuff and put it up, they can do that. Or we can apply for next grant cycle and do it another place.
When
So how much was
Linda
the
Flathers did
The
the book.
grant was less than, I don't have it in front of me, I think it was around 5,000 or less.
But you can apply for another year.
Absolutely,
When
yeah.
Linda Flathers did the Dancing with Mules book, she collected photos which she scanned and then gave back.
Mhm.
The technology wasn't very good in those days for what she's got, the quality. It would be nice to be able to get those pictures again, because
Yeah.
there are pictures that are totally.
You never know
nobody's
what's
got-
out there.
Nobody's
So,
got
yeah.
it. And the ones that are from Walla Walla, right, what's his name, Drazen?
Drazen
did.
Yeah.
They were mostly scanned on the newspaper, so they're all pixelated.
Yeah, they got the moraine pattern.
Yeah, so they're not very good. So it'd be nice to be able to collect them.
Yeah, and it's all freely accessible online. I mean, history should be free, so we put it all up there and let people discover it. So anyway,
But
just know that it can go on. We can apply for more grants for more areas in the county,
Good.
or more for wherever. So
Get some of the bank stuff, the old tuition.
I know
There you go.
that would be a
Yeah.
project.
$5,940.
Okay, so it's a little under 6. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Who applied for it?
No, I'm sorry, 5,200, that was your in-kind.
Oh, okay. I'm
Who
sorry.
applied for it?
Who wrote the grant?
You did.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks. The state library really, the folks that are running it really want to get to counties that haven't participated. So there's some counties that have done it 500 times in a row. And so we really wanted to get in the loop and get there and represent it. So it's
Nice. Do we have any correspondence this month?
May I suggest that we take this correspondence time for Patsy to read into the record the letter? It was going to be at the end, but just in case we get crowded, I think
Okay.
this would be a nice time to do it. Would you like to?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I asked Aletha if I could write a tribute to Carol, about Carol, to send to her husband, so that
Not right now.
he was aware of how much we appreciated her service to us. And so this is the letter I wrote. Dear Jim, the members of the Board of Trustees of Walla Rural Library District want to offer you and your family our condolences on the passing of Carol. She served on our board for over 6 years, starting in August of 2006, and was an example to all of us on how to be strong in conviction, think in a positive manner, and always wear a smile. Carol did many things that make her special to the rest of the board members and the employees of the district. She was wise and discerning in her judgment, always thinking about what was best for the RLD patrons. When she arrived at our meetings, we could always expect a bag or two of M&Ms to appear with her, so we would have sustenance as we worked together. I miss that. But I really miss Carol. She knew what was right and proper and never wavered in her moral compass. She was not worried about what people thought of her. She was more focused on doing the right thing for the library district in the eyes of the law and the government of the state of Washington. Carol understood people and their motives. Because of this insight, she gave excellent counsel to our board. When some in the community were unhappy with our decisions, she didn't waver from what she thought was right. Whether it was writing letters, making phone calls, checking with the best we video, as you say, we video games for the branches, or visiting with her huge friend base in the community, Carol let people know that the WWRLD was going to stand firm in their beliefs. In the last months of her battle with cancer, we were all energized by Carol's desire to continue to keep the board moving toward the goal of a new county central library and administrative center, as well as the branch remodels at Touchy, Prescott, and Burbank. When Carol came to meetings feeling tough from the battle with her pain, we appreciated her effort, and we were better trustees by her example. As she presided at the August meeting via the phone connection, we were so moved that she cared so much that she would take the time, while being so ill, to meet with us and to lead us through the agenda. As the RLD was one of the groups Carol specified in lieu of flowers, we want to thank you for that honor. We know how much she looked forward to seeing the new and remodeled buildings we're planning for the library district. These donations will be a fitting memorial to our friend. Her passing has left a huge void on our board, which we hope the county commissioners will carefully fill. At our September 12th, 2013 Walla Rural Library District meeting, we will read this letter into the minutes as our tribute to Carol. She will be remembered as a tireless board member who led by example. And then I need you to sign it.
Absolutely.
And we do miss him.
Thank you, Betsy, for writing that.
And that memorial is September 21st.
That's right,
at
at
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Out at the amphitheater.
I don't know where that
I'm-
is, though.
Fort
It's
Walla.
Walla.
Fort Walla.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out of town, so I'm not going to be able to be there. I hope
Oh,
some
yeah,
of,
okay.
I hope some of you can be there.
I'm doing the Grand Fondo walk in the morning out at CC, and then I'll come to that, yeah. That'll be my Saturday.
And then I'll get Tom's signature and then mail it.
Okay.
It's really beautiful passing.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's really nice.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
my-
that's yours. I'm borrowing
It's a
from
good
I need the
everybody.
first page too.
Yes, you do.
Thank you. All right, very good.
Thank you, Patsy.
Oh, Andrea, while you're here, would you please sign the minutes that you approved? I'm always chasing before,
Yeah.
after the fact. Just you and me. Okay, thank you.
So now unfinished business or
What do
new
we have?
business? Where are we have a
We
half
have-
hour, we're okay.
Yeah, we're doing fine. Unfinished business, it's pretty simple. The budget resolution, you did receive all the data that you need to review that, and if you have questions, that's just fine. If you're satisfied with it.
It looks good, but remind me, what is debt services?
The debt service is what I budget every year to pay for our loan that we haven't taken.
Oh, I see, okay.
That's why the money's available.
That's why
So
you
it's
can
coming
move
from
it.
capital. Debt services is part of capital.
That's correct. No, it's
No.
incorrect. It's part of our, it's part of
Debt
our
services is
general fund
expenses.
operating money. We're gonna budget it every year, it's not coming from capital.
Okay,
No, we're just budgeting it every year.
okay.
So,
Do we all have the same here?
yeah, you
Oh,
all
you
are the
and
same. I just wanted to give you a chance to ask any questions if you had any, so.
No,
Okay.
we need to do this.
Yeah, I know. Do you want to read it and I'll second it?
I move to adopt Walla County Rural Library District Resolution 2013, number 6, in the matter of transferring $17,500 from district salaries appropriations, thereby reducing said appropriation from $464,249 to $446,749, and transferring $24,000 from debt services appropriation, thereby reducing said appropriation from $155,845 to $131,245. Thus, creating a transfer of $42,000 for the purpose of funding increases to professional services of $35,500 and administrative costs of $6,500.
And I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
There's no one here to oppose.
Okay.
Okay,
The strategic plan measurement is nothing. Action plan, I want to tell you that Andrea and I were visiting over budget material.
This is
Oh.
purple?
Well, that's just, that is just sampling. I have not done it because, I haven't done it simply because it's a huge job.
yes.
But I wanted to get it on the agenda. I want to tell you what I was up to. I want to tell you that Andrea is absolutely right. The time has come for us to identify the different objectives and to start doing the
The
tasks
measurable.
and tracking it. So I gave you that purple stuff so that you could see the sorts of things we're going to do and how we're going to do it. We're going to have a column of the objectives and then a column of the tasks and the
And
responsible
this is
party.
from Ruth's.
This is
from
No,
Ruth's plan.
no, this is just generic stuff. just
But,
to show-
but we do
I have
we
the-
do
have that one
have
from Ruth.
some that Ruth did.
I do, but they were just samples, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna.
No, we paid a
No,
great
we-
deal of money for all those measurable objectives, no?
Yes, but what I'm saying is that they weren't comprehensive and they were not necessarily in priority order. What we did was we brainstormed it. I have it here and I also have it on here. But yes, of course we pay for it and that's what I'm gonna use.
Right.
And I'm gonna
Okay.
take those and I'm gonna put them into a matrix.
So that's what you do.
Right. And then for next month, I will have all of them in a matrix. But obviously we can't do all of them just like that. So,
No.
so we're going to refine it over the next couple of months into priorities and so on. Okay, did you turn, no, you didn't. Yeah, I want to show them just very quickly. Of course, you're right that we did this for us, but there's so much more to be done.
They were kind of, they weren't measurable.
They were
Pretty broad.
The idea was to give us a sampling of the kind of work that we have to do. The objectives were right.
Yeah, do you have
It
a
was-
copy of that on there?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Hers?
going for right now. That's what I'm going for right now. So I can just show you. Strategic planning final with exhibits. And then you'll recognize what we're working with. Well, let's get rid of that. Okay, so we go down here, we have the service goals and all of that. And it really just goes through a
The
10.
goals and the.
Yeah, because all the rest is just supplemental material.
Yeah, 5 and 10.
And then there's the intro, the process. I only gave you that generic thing so that you could get an idea of
So this
how-
would be like a chart that would use these same,
Exactly. In other words, the left-hand side of the chart will be residents will have adequately sized, attractive, comfortable, and functional.
right,
Okay, and then the next column will be the
Objectives.
objectives, and then we'll have tasks. And then we'll say who's responsible and whether it's done or.
perfect, lovely.
That's what.
Yes, lovely. But Alisa, I have another point. I told you, I think we need to do this, but I kind of meant when the new director comes. I mean,
Oh.
you're like this for the year,
I know, but.
and I don't want you to take on,
No,
you know what I mean? I mean,
No.
I understand every once in a while now you're gonna take a breath,
well,
but
the important
are
thing is.
you sure that you,
Yeah, because it's gonna be a lot of your work too. You know, prioritizing and getting timelines, and the new director's gonna take it on into the future. I just wanna do what you mentioned, and that's what we should have
that's where we wanna
been-
get
Where we-
to. I know, but this year has been,
Oh, yeah, but
but we
there's
don't
no
wanna,
re-
all this work that Ruth did and going around to
You're
the
right.
public, we need to get our measurables.
I think Chris has something to say.
Oh, so I'm just making an observation, I'm accustomed to working with strategic plans and action plans, and so we've been using this document that y'all
Of
created.
course we have.
And we've been.
Right, but I mean
Using it
in a
to-
way that would be reported with the measurables and all that.
Right, in this sense, you're getting those measurables. They just aren't, they're not in a format that describes them like that. But, you know, our homework zone was designed to meet
Right.
the intention of this.
Yeah.
So then we can
So
pull that data up.
we're
Right.
halfway,
Yeah,
we're
I think
halfway
we're talking about
through the
formalizing
completion.
everything.
Yeah, all I want to do is to get it into a program where we can start filling it in.
Right, perfect, lovely.
And I know we've done a lot.
We've
Yeah,
been
no.
using it.
You know, I'm sure we didn't turn our back on it, but I'm just
No,
saying,
but I
think
would, I
that-
would love
our
to
focus
see
has been-
how much of it we've actually accomplished.
And the
I mean,
board
I'm
has to have,
excited.
our focus has not been on that.
I know that. So I
Yours
really,
might. But we
so
need to.
I really want to
There are
thank
some numbers,
Andrea
but it's
for
pretty broad.
bringing this up because it was done and it was a sigh and we were overwhelmed and she's right, this is our roadmap.
Well,
Look
it's
at
good
that.
for
Look
us
at
to
that.
familiarize ourselves
Look.
because,
Work with the local telecommunication companies to increase internet connection speeds. Check.
right, but I think for the board, we may get this question
Right.
from the executive
That's
search
right.
saying, now what is your strategic, and it was a year ago, and you might be really familiar, and you might be, but we walked
That's
away from
right.
it with about 100 other things happening
What,
after that.
what you need is something in hand where you
Well,
can
like you
see.
said, we have the matrix.
That's right, so you can see what's happening.
Right.
But there are so many different versions of the matrix. I just wanted to show you what I was up to.
Okay.
Is that online?
Okay.
That whole thing
It should
online
be
again?
very
I
good.
thought it was
It's,
somewhere.
it's someplace.
It is, it should be on the public documents website, but I can make sure.
We're doing very well.
It's on the
Right,
website.
yeah, okay.
It's on the website.
I'm sure I can find it in
Well,
my
I'll
house.
shoot you.
I need to brush up on
I'll
that.
shoot you a
I'm
link
sure
so
it's
in your email.
there. In fact, I pulled out
It is on the
I
website.
put on a notebook, I think, that I had printed out.
Okay, so you'll keep us updated on that next.
I will.
Okay, so the next, are we at to new business?
Yes, we are. I spoke with Andrea about this, and she can speak about it, and we don't have to do
Okay, so-
much with this.
Basically, where we're at is, well, two things. Obviously, we need to unfortunately replace Carol. And we need to fill the chair position. Those are two separate things. And we have to wait until the county commissioners talk to us
Mhm.
about that. And they're working on it, and it'll be a couple weeks, we'll get an answer as to what process we're going to use. So that's tabled for now.
Mhm.
As far as chair, I leave it up to you guys what you want. I don't mind taking chair till the end of the year, it's only a few more months, but I'm not in Walla to sign things. So one of you needs to be co-chair or chair.
If you're-
However it
if
works
you're
is
a
fine
vice
with me.
To be a vice chair, you
Vice chair,
can
and
sign.
you sign as vice chair?
Sure,
Mhm.
but you have to officially,
We have to officially
Elect
make one of
such
us
a
chair and one of us co-chair, and however you want to do it.
the chair runs the meetings, unless the chair's gone.
I'm pretty incompetent at running meetings, so I'm happy to not be chair. But it's fine to be chair either way.
You've done fine.
You've done
My
this
deep
fine.
ambitions to be
So
chair
it's a-
of the library is,
I checked the
so-
bylaws, there's nothing at all that.
There's nothing that says yeah.
That you can't, or.
You're in Walla Walla to sign. I'm looking at you because it's convenient. Patsy's been chair, she's been co-chair, she can handle the job either way, but she's
She's
probably fine to
convenient.
not.
Well, she's
either.
convenient because I sleep in her garage. A couple times a week.
So to speak.
So either way, either one of you can be co-chair however you wish, or chair. I don't, somebody say something, somebody nominate something.
Would you rather have somebody be chair and you continue to be co-chair? Or would you rather just finish the?
How about I finish as chair and that will give me a feel for if I would like to never be chair again for a year.
Well, that's a
Just
plan.
saying.
That's
you know.
really a positive way to put it.
Yeah, oh, I love the job and I'll be
I
campaigning.
move
By
that we,
December.
that the vice chair becomes the chair until the end of the, till the what do you call it?
Until
The
the,
end of the year when we reorganize the board.
Right.
correct. And are you going to
And so let's do
recommend
that
a
one.
vice? Okay.
Let's do that one first.
Okay, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Okay.
Okay. Now I move that we appoint Alice McDonald to be the vice chair till the end of the year.
I can do that.
You
I
can-
second, can I second? I can't.
You
No, you can't second.
Be quiet.
Alice, you have to second yourself.
I have to second myself.
yourself.
I will
Do
do
that.
it.
Okay, all in favor of Alice's co-chair, say
Aye.
aye. It's only a couple months, we
I
can do
know.
this for 2 months.
And I'm gonna call you every meeting. So you're here.
Don't
Because
let
if
it
you
get
think you're
stormy in
incompetent,
December.
wait till you try me doing that.
Okay, so we solved that and we can reconfigure when we know who else our board member
Yes,
is and what happens at the end of
You
the
shouldn't,
year.
you shouldn't do it till you get a full complement board member.
But I am nearby and I don't mind.
And Tom is just brand new, so he would certainly understand why we didn't choose him.
But maybe he's been on boards.
But maybe he would like to be
Well,
interested.
it's only
in-
until December.
Till-
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Okay, so then the next item of business is this contribution schedule.
Right.
And I
Well,
saw
yeah.
that online.
And I, online,
I got it.
yeah. Yeah.
It was on my email, excuse me.
Yeah, I gave it on the email. But it was only, I'm gonna just tell you real quickly how this, what you got and what it is. And then I gave you a whole bunch of pink stuff
Yeah,
just to look at, because sooner or later we gotta come up with a policy. And it's just a whole lot of stuff, and some libraries do it really simply, and some do it very complex. But the bottom line is, we have a new library being built, several. And Jim Peterson asked me 2 months ago to come up with some kind of a contribution schedule for naming rights for significant parts of County Central. And he said he's been working on that to the college, and he says he's run into the same thing I run into, which is just massive all over the map. But I think I found some good stuff, and I think that skeleton I gave you is pretty good. I brought this in case we had time to play, and you could pick other parts. But I don't want to make that one official, but I want to know if it looks right to you. And if you could charge me with going ahead to do some infill on this and bring something back to you, and maybe some kind of a simple policy.
Are those tax deductions for people?
Yes.
They are a tax
They're tax
deduction.
deductions.
We're not a 501c3.
No, but.
We're government.
But you're
We're
government, no, you
yeah.
can do it.
Okay.
The accountant
Yeah.
So
told me
anybody
that.
who makes a
Okay.
Oh,
donation,
absolutely,
okay,
it's,
okay.
yes, tax deductible,
Have
absolutely.
we received anything in Carol's name?
Yes,
Yes.
Oh,
we have. And I'm sure there'll be more, and I put it in a special place.
do you want, I wouldn't mind doing like the thank you notes or whatever.
Well, I've
Have you
done
got
them.
that all done already? Okay.
And I sent copies
So-
of them to Jim.
We
Oh,
also have to
oh,
do
yeah.
the bench.
What?
We have benches already for board members. Every time they leave the board, we have a bench, 2 benches now for 2 shows. Is that correct? That's what Carol wanted. So I think Carol should also have one. The board, do you not know that the
No.
benches? Yes, for Steve, when he left, I wanted to have a party, and Carol says, no, we're doing a
Bench.
bench. And then when I said, Sandra, why aren't we having a party for, no, we're gonna do a bench. Carol said, we're gonna have a bench outside the library with our name on it. And so I'm wondering,
I
Carol
didn't
loved
know.
benches.
Do we have
so I
2
think
benches outside of?
We don't have them because she wanted them for the new library. So
Okay.
when we have a new library and it's paid from us,
I will set aside
and I think
bench
Carol needs a
funding.
bench.
But we haven't
That we're
donated the
paying.
money.
No, we need to
We need to put some
somewhere put
money in
money in for every, I don't need a
Fine.
bench when I leave, folks, but.
I'd like a
You
swing.
gotta have a
Swing,
bench.
could we have an option?
You gotta have it.
Yeah, I need, yeah,
Okay, very good.
You're not going for a while.
something with a crazy monkey in a tree.
It's
So-
a nice art.
So what I sent you is not the result of doing it at the last minute. It's the result of not finding a whole lot of really great information.
Okay.
But what I emailed you, the one that says Walla Walla, the top one, that's pretty close to being right. If
What's an
somebody-
end panel?
Huh?
What's an end panel?
End of the range of shelves,
On the shelf. And then you can,
where you might have a computer, you might have stuff hanging on display.
Mhm.
Burbank has book displays on the end of the ranges, that's an end.
And it would just say, thank you to that.
oh, it would say,
Okay, this-
donated
Donated by.
by.
Okay.
and
In
it can-
honor of,
It can
It could
be
be
either way,
or
any way you
by.
want it.
Yeah.
either way. Well, in Carol's case, it would be in honor of.
Well, in Carol's case, it's gonna be substantial,
Yes.
I've been told, and it would be a permanent naming of a significant.
But this is nice, I mean, $500 people might want to do something like that.
What happens when the study carol is,
The study carols, I left that there, I don't even think we have study carols.
I mean, a room, I mean, it's forever, as long as the building's there, but a
Well,
table,
that's why the policies that are there say that, until such and such a
Right.
time or until it's
Okay.
replaced.
Yes.
But some things are permanent. I mean, if somebody gives us $2 million for the building, they get their name on it forever.
Yeah.
as they
Wait,
should.
And you're
And the
expecting that,
advice-
were
and
you?
the advice is that you don't give naming rights for anything less than 51% of the cost of whatever it is you're doing.
Oh, that's, I saw that on the thing that you sent, yes.
See, so people can't buy a big name on a table for $50. They can't do it. So I have to refine this, knowing.
I like it,
prices.
I think it's a real
I like
good-
where you're going with it.
It's a good idea to have it in place at this point in
And I
our
think your
life.
numbers look good.
Good. Well, let me refine it, let me get the real things, let me change some, but I'm absolutely gonna stick with the children's room, the lobby, and the meeting room at those prices, and the building. Does that look okay to you?
John might have some ideas on that, based on other libraries, no? What
No,
people-
that's the problem. I mean, I go in for naming things, and mostly it's when Verizon wants to buy a stadium.
It's quick.
How about a
I don't
computer?
know if they can have a library.
You can donate for a computer and stuff.
Now, when I was at Colfax visiting, waiting for something to happen, I went to the library, I told you that already. That McGregor's did some naming, and there were several other farm families that donated there. And so it would,
But I'd like to be careful because the LeGrand Library, for example, did massive amounts of naming, and every bloody chair has a thing on it, and I just think that's, come on. I think it needs to be important.
well, but you could have naming for, and with the plaque, and these people donated to furniture.
I think that's absolutely right, and I'll incorporate that, you're absolutely right.
Even just book donations, why couldn't we do just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't have too many
Into the
books,
collection,
yeah.
into the
Or
collection.
Spanish books, or children's books, or,
Yeah,
Well, if they want to donate to the collection.
yeah. But again, if you have a little plaque.
right.
Yeah.
But anyway, if anybody goes to Colfax, go to the library and go ask them to show you how to use the elevator, get down the basement to look at they have a marvelous set of old photographs that they've blown up. And it's a similar size, because it's a system. It's not
What are we
just-
gonna do for all, we don't know what we can up the walls, do we?
No, not yet, but hopefully we can do some
Those
cool
old
stuff.
Yeah, no,
photographs.
that might be
Great.
donated
Well, what?
art pieces, art too, we've got a lot of artists in Walla.
Yeah, you're right, and also, there's a beautiful picture of this sculpture and stuff. I think if we can identify a price for sculpture, and John knows people, and if he can give me a price, we can add that to our list.
Sculpture and art, yeah.
Yeah, a beautiful sculpture of children reading books or something
Is
like
this
that.
going to extend to branches?
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for all the branches too.
No, I mean as far as this naming stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll design one for each of the branches as well, but it'll be different numbers. It won't be
Okay.
$2 million.
Branch building.
It has to be proportional to the space.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think the 51% is a good rate.
it is. And I don't want to junk up the library with things everywhere. So I'll work on that. And then the last thing I've got here, I'm glad y'all like it, I'm gonna be thrilled. The last one is the budget projection, and I really am pleased with this. Very, very pleased. You have a copy, so you can take it home and play with it.
Can you email it to me, or did you already?
Sure.
I
I
already
didn't
did.
look, there's no way I could look through it right now.
Oh, no, I didn't email it to you.
Okay.
I finished it up today.
Okay, cute.
Email it out.
I'll email it.
Yeah, can you email it?
Sure, and that way you can play with the formula.
Yep.
But here's what I want to show you guys. This is the budget we adopted in November 2012. This is how we've adjusted it right up until before today. In other words, we did a resolution in May and we did a resolution in June. And we did one today that isn't, but it's just moving the money around. It's not adding or, okay, so, I have done projections to the end of the year. I did not change our earnings projection, I kept it the same, although it'll probably be a little higher, okay? But I did not fudge that one at all. I'm projecting this ending fund balance. This is the budget we're working on. Okay, then what I've done is I've gone to personal services. This is the budget we're working on, 629. This is what I'm projecting. Benefits. The reason this is low from projections is because we did not hire an executive director back in April. That's why you have to transfer money from me. So, okay, let's go through materials and services real quick. Office, we budgeted 8,000, we're up to 9,549. This is the new budget right here. This is for 2014. Professional services, that's legal, accounting, and so on. We're actually up to $109,000 right now, or more than that even. But originally for me it was 40, and our legal stuff was $51.85 legal. So I'm budgeting $5,000. There's no Bradbury's. There's no me next year. Okay. Not gonna happen.
Maybe there won't be any lawyers either.
Hmm?
Maybe there won't be any lawyers either.
No. But you gotta have a little bit of money just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah. Communication on the phone. This is where I told you that half of the year there will be an 80% discount on half of the year. So what I have is I have full cost at half the year, and the second half of the year is only 20%. Adding those together, this is what I expect next year. This is what we're spending this year, and this is what was budgeted. This was the original in November, and this is how it got adjusted. OCLC, pretty same. Walnut membership, pretty same. Communication postage, pretty much the same. Travel costs, it's going to be $13,000, but I'm dividing it out this way. This $13,000 in gray represents this, and this is what we've actually spent this year. And the reason this is higher than this is because this was Josh's mileage for courier up until the 1st of whatever. Of never. The 12th of never. This is going to be the gas for next year. Not the maintenance, but the gas. Advertising, nothing. I'm keeping rentals and leases and utilities and all of that together until the new buildings are done, and then the new director can sort out, according to our history experience on that big thing, how to distribute it. But this year we will have spent about $48,000, so I'm just budgeting the straight 50 again. The insurance, no problem. Building and grounds maintenance, this is what we'll actually spend this year. This is what was budgeted, which is less. I'm going up to 16,000, and I'm dividing it equally here, just to cover those. Board expenses miscellaneous. We have the executive search this year. This is what we're spending this year. This is projected to the end of the year. That's for lunches and dinners. That's it, not your travel. Staff, training and professional development. We dropped it to $5,000 this year. We wanted staff to do as much as possible. I've got $7,000 in there for next year, but only will have spent $27.91 by the end of the year. Organization dues, not a problem. Technology, kept the same. This is what we'll be spending, or maybe more, but it's close. And that can be reevaluated if we end up with some heavy-duty repairs. Book processing material, I upped it so that it would match what I expect to spend before the end of the year. Print and electronic materials, kept it the same. Anna's managed to spend, will have spent about that much. Will have spent. Programs, I'm keeping up 10,000. We spent 12. We'll see how that goes. Equipment purchase and maintenance and repair and all that. This is how we broke it down for this year based on a budget of 22,000. And what we will have spent is actually, I didn't come up with grade totals because I didn't want to add up, but 14, 19, something like that. That's the 19,000 there. That's what I'm budgeting for next year, down from 22. What we actually spent was 12, 4, 13, 1, 15 out of 22. So our total operating budget, by the time we finish this year, we will have spent 1,035,084. This is what we budgeted for operations. The reason it's higher is because we've had to plow money from this area back up here for our executive searches and stuff. Okay, we spent 32,640. We will have spent based on, going the next few months at the speed at which we're doing it. Maybe not even that much, but that's a high number. The courier van purchase for that year was spent and we budgeted it. The operating contingency isn't there. The total other uses then is down to there, and then we still have our 400,000 buried in this 578. This is what the carryover is, which means that if you go back up here to 2014, we have our $400,000 safe in the bank. We have 178,000 cash carryover. Most of it, of course,
Is that gonna be our payback? Remember we had to pay back our contingency that we took out? Is that?
You can pay it
in
back for
Okay.
20,000 if you want. I mean, yeah.
there? If it's in there to do it, I think we ought.
It's not.
Oh, it's not.
No, we were talking about doing it at 20,000 a year if you want to. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to make that decision when we get more refined.
Okay,
I just want you to
okay.
see.
I have to look at Luke, she needs to go.
Now, are we going to have is money budgeted so that we could have a non-resident card? I mean,
She
I
had it
had,
down.
look, I wanna show you what I did. That's the last question. Look, we still have 125,000 in for books, okay? 125,000 for books, still there. And if you go down here, we have 100,000 for the opening day collection. And if you want the cards, there's 40,000, it could be 30,000. But if you don't do the cards, you have 140,000 for opening day, plus $125,000, which will do the job. So you're gonna have to make that decision.
There's options.
but that's,
Those are
you've
options.
got it budgeted there in case.
The money's there.
Okay.
Okay,
So you guys can
next board
take,
meeting, October 8th.
you guys can take
We'll
this home.
adjourn at 6:56.
So we're back to
Where's our next
Monday.
meeting?
God knows.
It's my husband's birthday, and he's annoyed that I'm at a board meeting.
Tell him
Bring him into town and feed him in Walla.
the next board meeting is going to be the night of October the 8th, because that's when we make our decision on the new person, and we will have a regular board meeting.
Oh, that's right, it's the whole, we're doing the whole
It'll be a
day.
full board.
It's the 7th and 8th.
And then on October the 11th, a couple will get together to sign the vouchers. We'll have to get you and Patsy and Tom in one place.